Ever since Season 7 of Unexpected aired in 2024, one couple has completely taken over the internet, and not in the way the show probably expected. Bella and Hunter. Because this doesn't feel like a normal teen pregnancy story. It feels like something straight out of a horror movie.
Because Hunter still shows that he's very attracted to me, and always wants to have sex, even when I'm in my moo-moo and trying to go to bed.
Of course he does, he's a 13-year-old boy.
So far, people aren't just criticizing the show anymore, they're actually calling for it to be canceled. And when you hear the details, it's hard to disagree. Because Bella and Hunter weren't 17, they weren't even 16. They were 13 and 15.
I didn't think at 15 years old I'd be pregnant. I didn't think with a 13-year-old either. I'm Bella, I'm 15 years old, and I'm 34 weeks pregnant.
I'm Hunter, I'm 13, I'm Bella's boyfriend, and I'm the father.
A middle school relationship turning into parenthood. Hunter was in 8th grade when he found out he was gonna be a dad. Just think about that for a second. At an age where most kids are worrying about homework, friends, and school drama, he was preparing for a child. And by preparing, we mean failing 8th grade and playing Xbox.
Hunter doesn't want to go to the ultrasound.
Are you kidding me? You're bailing on me again?
Never said that.
You're lying.
I never saw him. Never mind.
I don't care what he says. This is probably our last ultrasound before we have the baby. If he doesn't come to this ultrasound, I will trash that Xbox with a hammer.
I gotta go to bed.
Hunter, it is 5 o'clock. You better come. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's past his bedtime, and he has 8th grade stuff to do the next morning, so he cannot show up for the ultrasound. Makes sense. Honestly bizarre. And what really pushed this story into controversy wasn't just their age. It was everything around it. Parents being completely okay with them spending nights together, even having their own hotel room. Falen, Bella's mom, asking the two to take a shower together while her dad is right outside looking after the newly born baby.
Hunter's gonna shower
Yeah.
with you? Okay.
And the most disturbing part was probably when Bella admitted that they started having sex only 4 days after her C-section.
How long did you wait after having Wes to start having sex again?
I think we only waited 4 days.
Seriously?
Girl, me and Allie are 11 months apart.
Did it hurt?
Freak yeah.
And they're using condoms, which they despise using in the first place.
And are you using any type of protection?
I am not on birth control to prevent a baby, but we are using condoms, sadly.
Yeah, neither one of them want to use them.
But I still do it every time because I don't want 2 kids right now.
Honestly, even talking about all this feels uncomfortable, like something that shouldn't sit right. And yet somehow every adult involved in the production of the show, every layer it had to pass through before airing on a major network like TLC, decided this was completely okay. That's what makes it even more disturbing, because Unexpected frames this kind of content as awareness, as a look into teens navigating parenthood. But at some point, it stops feeling like awareness and starts feeling like something else entirely. Like an over-glamorization of a situation that is at its core deeply unsettling. I mean, just look at Bella's mom talking about how she raised her to raise a child.
I raised you to raise your son.
I mean, she's just a kid, still in school, raising another child. Let that sink in. And in today's video, we're going to break down everything that's wrong with this relationship, especially the role their parents played in all of it.
My parents definitely know what we do behind closed doors. Stacy does too, but my dad definitely doesn't want to hear about it.
Sign on that sign says just say no.
Just say no to what?
How about we say no to raw dogging it, boo?
Mom, I
No.
do every single
The
time.
answer is no.
No, you don't gotta tell me that.
You know?
You gotta tell Hunter that.
So first, let's jump into the family dynamic. As you know, there are 2 families involved, the Vaughns and the Johnsons. Bella Vaughn was just 14 years old when she found out that she was pregnant. She had been dating Hunter on and off since she was 12 years old, while Hunter was just 10.
When we started dating, I was 12.
And I was 10.
Me and him talked off and on for 3 years.
We recently just got back together.
And then a couple days later, I got pregnant.
No, not a couple.
It was a couple.
About a month.
Hunter, I found out I was pregnant a month later.
Good measure.
Their relationship started because Hunter and Bella used to live right across the street from each other. Over time, Hunter was basically living full-time at Bella's house because his parents were divorced and his mother had his custody. Since she used to go to work, she would leave Hunter at his girlfriend Bella's house to be watched, and she didn't seem to have any problem with Hunter frequently sleeping over. Bella's parents, Falen and Chris, had no problem with this either. In fact, you'd be shocked to know that they let these kids do pretty much whatever they wanted, and that even includes sleeping in the same room. And it doesn't stop there. Bella also has other sisters. One of them, Emmy, her older sister, who's 19, was also pregnant at the same time and featured on the show. It's honestly absurd how two of their teenage daughters were pregnant at the same time, and they still had the audacity to call it a bonding experience.
This is my sister. She's 19 years old. She's also pregnant. Twins.
It's nice to have someone to experience my pregnancy with.
It's kind of more of a bonding experience.
Absolutely.
I have been sleeping a lot.
You're depressed and you just want to go lay down and...
Apart from Emmy, Bella also had a younger sister called Allie, who is in the same grade as Hunter, and in one live stream, Falen even talked about how Allie and Hunter did not get along at all and were arch nemesis.
I don't know why people are trying to make it weird. It's like a son, not anything else.
Me and him did used to hate each other with a very big passion.
The way that him and Allie did not get along at first was awful. Like, I honestly, they hated each other.
So
like, literally hated each other.
Thank God someone else understands. Me and Hunter were just... He was just always really immature.
Oh my gosh.
And we never ever got along.
They never got along.
And he also used to always date my friends, so...
And Allie said that Hunter dated all her friends.
Chloe, we don't get to see, Hunter doesn't get to see his son and Bella very much when he's at his dad's house. Guys, I've taken care of Hunter for 2 years, okay?
I mean, we really don't know what's going on with this family. However, another piece of interesting information that we found was that Falen and Chris were also not in a very stable relationship. Falen has talked on the show about how she was also very young when she got pregnant, so she could not let Bella lose her baby.
I feel like she justifies it because I did it so young with her dad. I've been with her daddy since I was 14. We got married when I was 18. I had my oldest daughter when I was 19, but I never thought that I would be a grandma to my child that has not even went to high school yet.
But Falen and Chris actually got divorced in the middle after a tough patch. They initially married in 2004 and then got divorced in 2016 and remarried in 2021. Falen made an Instagram post talking about it. She said, 9 years ago, we decided to give it one more try. Not for our kids or anyone else, but for us. And it ended up being the best decision we've ever made. All of our past mistakes didn't define our future together. Instead, they helped shape the love, growth, and life we have now. When we got remarried in October 2021, our very first phone call was to my mama, and she said, it's about time. Then I called my parents, and my dad said, I told you 20 years ago that you and Chris were soulmates. These past 9 years have truly been the best years of our lives. Overall, the relationship between Bella and her parents is very weird and complicated. On one hand, the parents are shown as extremely supportive. On the other, they're literally exploiting the kids. On the show, Falen even got mad at Bella because she wanted to break up with Hunter. People thought that her behavior was very unfair and uncalled for.
Can we talk? Please.
About what?
I don't understand why you're mad.
Why do you think I'm mad?
I don't know. I don't understand why you're mad at me.
Bella is also conditioned to think that she owes her mom since she allowed her to keep the pregnancy and helped her through it.
Thanks for putting up with me for the last 40 weeks because I couldn't do it. I've been crazy.
I've been putting up with you for 15 years. What are you talking about?
I don't know how Hunter did it.
And the exploitation of these kids actually goes much deeper. Falen especially was very much involved in their entire relationship. And while she supported Bella during the pregnancy, she did absolutely nothing to make sure that she doesn't make the same mistake again. In fact, there's a creator on TikTok by the name Michelle Annexo. She uploads complete breakdowns of unexpected stars as well as other celebrities. And some people from Bella's school reached out to this creator and explained how Bella's mom was allegedly trying to give condoms to kids, which is just what you shouldn't be doing when your kid's only 13. It makes absolutely no sense. One person who reached out to Michelle said, "I am best friends from school with someone whose brother dated Bella when they were 10, and Bella's mom was trying to give them condoms, and my friend's mom made them break up. I don't know why they're saying they're preventing things and help them be safe when they're just encouraging them to have sex." Another text from their former schoolmate reads, "This inappropriate behavior has been going on for a minute. When we had Little League homecoming, where you buy the tickets so your kids can win, when Bella and her boyfriend at that time stopped in the middle and kissed on the lips, everyone was shocked. We mean, just look at this picture. They look so awfully young." Apparently, they also had a room of their own at this league. One moment from the show that kind of explains the whole parents' thinking is when Bella's dad says that we should have all known when Bella failed, said that they were doomed. And Bella pointed out that she did great in child development class and her mom agreed. However, the most absurd part is that Falen believes she tried to prevent the pregnancy by giving the kids condoms, which is bizarre considering they were literally 12 and 14 at the time.
I took a golf class, so I think I'm gonna win.
I think we should have sent you to a sex ed class.
Dad, I took the sex ed class and failed that one, but I passed the child growth and development class.
Oh, good thing. I was trying to prevent teenage pregnancy.
A lot of people online also believe that Bella wanted to get pregnant because she wanted to keep Hunter committed to her since they had a little break in the middle. People also think that Bella wanted to make Hunter jealous by having his baby. She said in one of her old TikToks, "Somewhere out there, my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend is scrolling through my TikTok, tearing me down because I am pregnant, but he got me pregnant and still chose me over you." People also can't help but notice how detached Hunter looks. He seems to not care about anything, and he appears really annoyed at Bella at all times, tired and resigned about everything that's happening in his life.
I was 12 when I found out I was gonna be a dad. Now I'm 13. I did not think I would be finishing 8th grade and becoming a dad at the same time. But here I am.
I didn't think at 15 years old I'd be pregnant. I didn't think with a 13-year-old either.
However, regardless, we're not here to blame the literal children. If anyone's to be blamed for anything, it's the parents who are supposed to keep these kids away from such situations, not aid them in doing this, which is exactly what their parents have done throughout all of this. Now, coming to Hunter, he was very young when he got Bella pregnant, and it's honestly very sad to see how this young boy has detached himself from everybody. He's constantly joking, he doesn't take anything seriously, and it's kind of funny how he interacts with his baby.
Take him. I can't.
For Wes, your daddy can't handle it.
It's actually sad how little responsibility and tact this young boy has been taught. His parents have messed him up in ways that's truly sad to see. He doesn't even want to hold his baby for long enough because that's not supposed to be his job. As for his family, his parents, Casey Johnson and Stacy Riddle, have been divorced. His father has remarried someone else, and it's honestly a little complicated. They got along for a while, but they don't anymore. There is also an ongoing legal battle between Casey and Stacy, as well as Casey and the Vaughn family, which has actually resulted in Falen being arrested. We'll get into the details of this in a short while. For now, let's just focus on Hunter's relationship with his parents. So he's apparently close to his mother, but his relationship with his father is shown on the show as very strained. His father didn't show up for the delivery, and he was kind of sad about it, but pretended like he didn't care.
All fell apart after Bella got pregnant. His dad's like, "I give up now because you're having a kid and I can't help you with your kid."
He said, I ruined my life. I do not feel like I ruined my life.
How did it make you feel hearing your dad tell you that, though?
I won't believe me. I didn't care.
I think he may not show it, but sometimes it really upsets him.
I know.
I think he holds a lot more in than he lets out.
Let out massive dick.
Basically, on the show, it was portrayed that Casey was an absent father who was disappointed in his son and didn't want to help him. However, he's actually been fighting for custody for quite a while now. In fact, Hunter was in his custody after the divorce, but then Falen got custody, and that's how he ended up living with the Vaughns, sometimes multiple days and nights without much supervision. Hunter's mom, Stacy, was also comfortable with other kids spending time at the Vaughn household, and both families were aware that Hunter and Bella were in a relationship and probably also getting physically involved. Regardless, the kids were given a very high level of freedom and minimal supervision, and it eventually led to serious consequences. On the show, Bella talked about how they were using a but it broke.
The condom broke. Oops.
And it gets worse. Imagine telling your mom at 15 years old that you didn't even wait a whole week after your C-section, then followed it up. That's all he wants.
No, not to get pregnant.
Is it hard to talk about with your mom sitting right here? Because
No, she knows. Like, I'm very open, but like, all he wants to do is have sex.
What?
Because I'm not gonna get pregnant again. I'm already pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
It's honestly crazy that even after the first pregnancy at just 15 years old, the situation around these kids didn't really change in any meaningful way. In fact, the way these adults behaved around the kids was truly unbelievable.
You know, I'm like, golf?
You ain't. You're gonna head it in the woods. I'm gonna head it straight down the pipe.
Well, if you ain't getting nothing down the pipe, son, you will be the golf forever.
Both Falen and Stacy sat there and talked about how they just cannot stop Bella Hunter from having sex. These are adults, the parents, who are simply just incapable. It's just so painful to watch. On the show, they talked non-stop about their sex life, and in the most disgusting way possible. Just have a look at some of these moments from the show that left us completely speechless.
All these people walking past, like, you got a baby handshake, I got a pregnancy test. Yeah. You don't want to be a big brother. I don't want to be a 15-year-old too young mom. Actually, I think it'd be 16.
You should have signed on that semi says just say no.
Just say no to what?
How about we say no to raw dogging it, boo?
Mom, I do every
the
single
answer
time.
Is no.
You don't gotta tell me that.
You know?
You gotta tell Hunter that.
Well, he's the one with the loaded gun, so control it.
He can't.
You control it. Make sure it's covered.
I do make sure it's covered.
I feel like it needs to be something that your kids can come talk to you about. Communicate's a big thing in our house.
This is beyond disturbing and horrible, especially seeing her age and the fact that she is a literal child still navigating something far beyond her emotional maturity. But there's honestly a huge difference in the way Bella and Hunter behave. While Hunter is more closed off and acts like an 8th grader, which he is, Bella often acts like she's an adult and knows everything.
And you swear you have not used...
Every single time we've used a condom, I will not go without it.
I just feel like y'all did it like one time without protection. You little aren't telling me the truth.
Hunter, why do you think that Bella's pregnant? Are you not using condoms?
No, we are using protection.
But if you're using protection, why are you so scared?
I'm just scared.
He just ripped.
All right, that was bad.
You can't even stand your own.
And the most disturbing part, according to many viewers, is how her mother reinforces this idea, constantly talking about how Bella has grown and become more mature during this time, almost normalizing it instead of questioning it.
You've matured a lot over the last 9 months, and I feel like I raised a very strong-willed person, and you'll be a good mom.
Okay, next subject.
However, when it comes to Hunter, she has a different ideology. She literally babies him and takes his side a lot of the time over her own daughter. And this has actually led many people to point out how it looks like Falen has some sort of crush on him.
So Bella's getting pissed at Hunter this episode because he missed out on her pregnancy photos. Now he doesn't want to go to her last ultrasound because he's tired and wants to stay in bed. Now his mom and everyone is saying that is because he's depressed, which it might be. Or it could be that he's 13. And 13-year-olds really sleep a lot because, he's still a growing boy because he is a boy. So Bella threatens to break up with him and she walks off camera, but before the cameras turn off, she does say this: "Mom will not let me leave Hunter." Now again, much of the online chatter and even some people in my DMs are stressing the fact that Bella's mom is a weirdo and gets obsessed with her boyfriends. In this entire episode, she does nothing but defend Hunter. Even though her own daughter Bella is not happy, she is insisting that she does not break up with him. This is her crying because her 15-year-old daughter might break up with her 13-year-old boyfriend. She goes on to say it's not just two people breaking up. You're breaking up two families. This mom is such a weirdo. I can't. And to be honest, if I were Hunter, I would obviously not run far, far away because you're about to have a kid, but maybe run away from this lady.
So yeah, there was a moment on the show when Hunter refused to come to Bella's last ultrasound and she got really upset. There was also a time when she wanted to break up with Hunter, but Falen would not let her break up with him and also took his side heavily. She said the reason she takes Hunter's side is because he never had anyone supporting him unconditionally.
Talking to Bella because she has not communicated with Hunter. Typically whenever they're fighting like that and I know they're both being ridiculous, like, I will take a step back because I don't want to say something that I'll regret later and she'll remember forever. So it's just better if I don't talk at all.
Can we talk, please?
About what?
I don't understand why you're mad.
Why do you think I'm mad?
I don't know. I don't understand why you're mad at me.
I will admit that a lot of times I am Team Hunter because he's never really had someone besides his mom that's actually been there and stayed. So yeah, a lot of times I do pick his side to let him know that I am there. Like I have said that, you know, if y'all break up, you're not just breaking up two people, you're breaking up two families.
Even when I try to talk to him, he doesn't talk to me. He goes straight to you. It's me and him in the relationship. Like, I don't understand why he can't talk to me.
I think it's because he's afraid you're just going to yell at him or you're just going to tell him to leave, like you always do.
Bella also had moments on the show where she broke down emotionally on camera, telling her mom that she always takes Hunter's side.
No, that has nothing to do with it. Y'all both have to be good for each other.
I do feel like my mom always takes Hunter's side.
I will admit that a lot of times I am Team Hunter. Your answer can't be just to leave every time. You always try to bail on him instead of trying to fix him.
And it's honestly quite bad because the girl is also going through a lot. Whether or not she should have been more responsible is something else entirely. A lot of people online have also reacted strongly to this situation. One comment circulating on Reddit summed up the general frustration viewers have been feeling, saying that Bella deserves better support, and questioning the way her mother handles situations between Bella and Hunter. One comment read, "Good Lord, Bella deserves so much better. Something is very wrong with her mom. Give Bella this silent treatment because Hunter didn't show up for her, and Bella set boundaries?" I'd get that Hunter doesn't really have parents, but that doesn't mean she should neglect her own child to play mom with him, saying, "I don't want my grandson to come from a broken home." Meanwhile, she allowed her 14-year-old to sleep with a 12-year-old with no birth control. I just don't get it. This whole scene led to a lot of people to speculate whether their parents were forcing them to stay in a relationship, to which Falen replied saying this.
Guys, so I'm going to address just a little bit about Bella and Hunter because all this stuff that I am seeing, I'm not even going to say I'm seeing it because I'm not seeing it. I'm having it sent to me. So it's not things that I'm actually going and seeing myself. I will not listen to the negativity. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to respond to it. I'm not going to have a reaction because honestly, I don't care what people say. Ideal situation? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We know this. Another thing is I don't think people realize that my grandson is 11 months old, okay? He is fixing to have his first birthday next month. When people age, that means everybody ages, not just my daughter, because people are saying that my daughter is 16 and Hunter is 12 or 13. No, that's not the case. I know that a lot of people probably isn't really good at mathing their stuff, but let me math it for you.
Overall, everyone's always talking about how Hunter's life has been affected, how he needs to focus on his studies, how he shouldn't be spending so much time in this situation, but not as much attention is given to Bella, which many people find unfair and one-sided. Even Bella herself seems to feel like she should thank everyone for putting up with her, and she often wonders how Hunter handled everything, while in reality, she is the one who went through a major medical procedure to give birth. Her pregnancy was also extremely difficult. She was just 15 and her baby weighed around 9 pounds, which made natural delivery even more complicated. This is one of the reasons she ended up having a C-section, as there were serious risks involved. Just have a look at her talking about how having a natural delivery has more risk of her dying.
The baby scored at 97th percentile, which was 9 pounds, 12 ounces. So for a young lady, that's a lot of babies. So.
You've done this a long time. What is your recommendation?
Well, that much baby, probably at 15 years old, if the baby hadn't dropped, the C-section would be the smarter thing.
I really don't want to wait. Like, whatever we can do as soon as possible. My first choice was an induction, but the risk of me dying would have been a lot higher just because it could put so much stress on my body and have no progress. And then his heartbeat could drop and mine could skyrocket. And I don't want to have an emergency because that's a lot of trauma. So when he said that C-section was probably the safest then that was what I would do because I don't want anything to happen to the baby or me.
If y'all have a question, let me know, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really didn't think he would want to do a C-section. I really thought he would make me wait.
That's the one thing I didn't want for you. That's my baby. Like, I didn't want her to have to get cut open. I wanted her to do it naturally because I've always been told that C-sections are terrifying and all these bad things that happen. But we need to do what is best for her and for Wes.
He'll be okay, hopefully.
These kids talking about these things that they shouldn't even be a part of, and it's really sad to see that. Bella had plans of her own, and now she has this new life to take care of, and it's a problematic situation that the family is not even fully registered.
We're still kids. Next, am I pregnant? I have seen this question so much, and I know where it's coming from. When people watch the show, they think that is current time, and it is not. That was filmed last February, so it has been a year since I started filming. Nowhere near a year since I ended filming them. Yeah, I would love to hear what question you guys have about that though, because I love talking about the show. I love being as open as I can about it. I did sign a contract, so there's some things I can't say, but if you have questions, let me know and I will answer whatever I can. Anyways, this is the last question that I'm going to answer. It's not written down, but I've seen it every single place that I look that my face pops up. So, did I intentionally baby trap Hunter? No, I did not.
And the most troubling part is that they keep talking about Bella having a second child like it's just no big deal. There was even a pregnancy scare on the show that TLC pushed heavily for just the shock factor.
Don't get me wrong, I love my grandson, but the one thing that would cause me to lose my mind and really get pissed off would be if there's another kid that pops up before these two get out of high school and get their life started. Because we're trying to do everything we can to help them, not let this hold them back. But if they have a second whoops, then they're gonna be in trouble.
However, like Bella said, it's been 2 whole years since the show aired and there's no news of a second pregnancy. But there is a recent development in the story of this couple, and this next chapter revolves around the drama involving Hunter's dad. A while ago, Hunter actually uploaded a video where he talked about why he hates his dad so much and why he doesn't like living with him.
Well, this is my side of things, since everybody's thinking that Bella's family is making me do everything. I do not like being at my dad's. There's no food there. It's disgusting. I don't like being around them. Pinned me up against the wall by my throat when I was little. Scared. And I've also been videoed there by my little sister as I was getting in the shower. It's just, everybody's thinking that it's Bella's family. It's not. It's really how I feel. And Falen is not obsessed with me. She's been one of the only people that have actually taken care of me besides my mom. And I like her like she's my mom.
However, what many people did know is that his dad has been really pushing hard in court to get custody, and his reason's simple. He believes that both the Vaughns and his ex-wife Stacy are unfit to take care of him. We all know from the show that Hunter was depressed and was failing 8th grade and not doing great academically.
Even though I just became a dad, the school still don't give me excused absences for being at the hospital, so it sucks having to leave Wes behind.
Hunter has to go to school every day they're open because we need all the odds we can get for him to pass.
So cover him up for a second and give your dad a kiss.
I am glad Hunter decided to go to school instead of staying at the hospital because finishing 8th grade is more important right now. But he wouldn't have been much help anyway. Mom was definitely more help than he would have been.
That's the official request for relief that Casey, Hunter's dad, filed. In the document, Hunter's dad states that the court should enforce the existing temporary custody order, including the prohibition on overnight stays at the residence of Chris Vaughn and Falen Vaughn, Bella's parents. The request also includes the following restrictions. Number 1, the minor shall not be present at the residence of Chris and Falen for any purpose unless supervised by Stacy. Number 2, Bella cannot have any unsupervised contact with Hunter. Number 3, Hunter cannot have any contact with Bella's parents without supervision. And lastly, Hunter's phone cannot be tracked by any third party other than his own parents. This highly suggests that the Vaughns might have had access to Hunter's location. In addition to this, Hunter's dad has also filed for custody of his grandson, Wesley. He stated that there is clear and convincing evidence that's in the best interest of Wes that custody be awarded to Casey, his parent and next friend to Hunter. Hunter's dad also asked that Bella and her family only receive visitation, and that Wes's last name be changed to Johnson. Casey went on to state that Bella, who was 14 when she was impregnated by then 12-year-old Hunter, lacks the maturity, judgment, and guidance to care for Wes. He also stated that Bella's parents have allowed her to engage in and make social media posts that are of a or otherwise mature nature. And guess what? Casey's response to all of this was to mock Hunter's dad, quite literally. She posted a TikTok saying, "You don't deserve my energy." She also posted a TikTok saying that Hunter's dad might cross his grandson on the street one day and the kid would never recognize him. Overall, in the last few days, there's been a lot of back and forth in the legal proceedings. Falen actually responded to all of Casey's motions and denied every single one of the accusations, and she did not agree to the paternity test, which, according to Michelle, could only mean two things. Either she does not want Hunter to have any legal rights over baby Wes, or the baby might not be his, which is something a lot of people have been talking about. Remember that one clip we showed you where Bella is talking about them getting back together and then getting pregnant within a few days, and Hunter says it was after a few months?
Me and him talked off and on for 3 years.
We recently just got back together.
And then a couple days later, I got pregnant.
No, not a couple.
It was a couple.
About a month.
Hunter, I found out I was pregnant a month later.
Good measure.
Yeah, this one. A lot of people are saying that if they were on a break, and according to Bella, she got pregnant immediately after the break, it's possible that the baby is not Hunter's, but someone she was with during that time. There's a theory that's been discussed by many people on Reddit. Regardless, after this, Casey's attorney actually fired back with another motion. Now, we'll not go through all the tedious details of this case, but just so you know, it's messy, really messy. So here's a little timeline for you guys. Stacy responds to Casey's bid for full custody of Hunter. In her response, she claims that Casey was abusive and that Casey never had an established relationship with Hunter, despite the fact that Hunter lived with Casey for years. She asked the judge to dismiss Casey's filing for custody. Around this time, Casey tells the court that it's been over a year since he was allowed to see Hunter. Then, July 2025, Casey asked the judge to order Stacy to submit to a urine and hair follicle drug test, as he says he believes she's using prescription drugs and or using illegal drugs. Casey offers to pay for the test, but wants Stacy to reimburse him if she tests positive. Later that month, Stacy files to have Casey submit to the same drug tests, writing in court documents that she believes he's also using drugs. Stacy also writes in her response that Casey has not established a meaningful relationship with Hunter and has failed to participate in the child's extracurricular activities or demonstrate involvement in the child's daily life. She claims that Casey's only had a relationship with Hunter for less than 1 year, and during that time it was marked by a pattern of abusive behavior. She again asked the judge to dismiss Casey's bid for custody. In August of last year, Casey claims in court documents that someone called the Department of Human Services, DHS, hotline on him less than 30 days after he filed an amended bid for full custody of Hunter. Because of this report, he says Hunter had to go through a child abuse interview. He also claims that if Stacy made the call or had someone make it, it violates a court order forbidding harassment between them. He asks that Stacy be held in contempt. In her response, Stacy denies making the call or having anyone make it. She also denies Casey's claims that he hasn't seen Hunter in over a year. She mentions several instances where Hunter did see Casey, including one in February 2025, where Casey allegedly stood Hunter up for a visit to the batting cages, something that was also shown on the show. Yeah, you see, really messy. As for the whole uninvolved father allegation, There's been some information online suggesting that Casey believes he has Hunter's best interests at heart. For example, there's a screenshot of a conversation he had with Hunter when TLC first approached the families for the show. From the looks of it, Hunter's dad was not very enthusiastic about the idea, even though the producers reached out to him to be a part of it. In the text, he wrote, "I'm simply just trying to fix my relationship with you." There are also screenshots of conversations between Hunter's mom and Casey, in which he asks Stacy if Hunter is staying over at Bella's, and Stacy replies that he is, while Casey clearly shows discomfort with this type of arrangement. From what it looks like, Casey might have been trying to fix his relationship with Hunter, but it was probably Hunter's mom who, like many toxic divorced parents, was trying to create a wedge between the two. Now, Casey's mother, Hunter's grandmother, has created a GoFundMe page to help support Hunter's father with the legal fees for the court case that Casey and Brittany are fighting. Brittany's Casey's current partner, by the way. In the meantime, there have been other things happening as well. And we think it's interesting to mention that both Bella and her mom have been outing the show's producers, saying that a lot of the show is scripted. In this one live stream, you can hear Bella's youngest sister asking her mom why she agreed to the script.
Now the babies are 7 weeks apart. To sign up for the show, that was Bella's decision, guys.
You gotta make them take birth control now.
Bella is really considering getting on birth control.
Why would you agree to that script?
Agree to what script?
That's what they on the show.
Allie, there's 800 and some people in here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I said, why would you agree to that script about what you had to say on the show?
Oh, yeah. Some of the things that are said on there is what we were told to say. Like, all of it is not. Yes, Bella and Hunter are still together.
Other than this, Bella herself has also talked about how much of what is shown or said on the show is not completely real, except for certain parts of her experience. Honestly speaking, we wouldn't be shocked if that were true. TLC's been criticized before many times for the way it exploits families and highlights the most shocking aspects for entertainment. Even past shows like the Duggar Family Show have raised concerns about how much reality TV can blur the line between awareness and exploitation. We mean the entire Duggar family suffered, including the sisters, and eventually ended with their eldest son being arrested for child pee. And the Vaughn story seems to be following a somewhat similar pattern. We're talking about Falen's arrest, of course. Yes, Bella's mom has reportedly been arrested on charges of disorderly conduct and obstructing governmental operations. According to online discussions, the situation is linked to a custody-related incident involving Hunter. From what's being said, Hunter was somewhere and needed to be picked up by a family friend. At this point, it's believed that his dad had been granted custody of Hunter, so he was living with Casey and his stepmom, Brittany. So when Casey was out one night working and Brittany was at home, Falen allegedly arrived where Hunter was and attempted to take him with her. Hunter's parents called the police and she was told to bring the child back, which she did. However, things escalated when she allegedly returned with other family members, including Chris, Bella, and baby Wes, and gathered outside Casey's house, while only Brittany was present there at the time. We don't know exactly what happened in full detail, but the situation reportedly escalated enough that Falen was arrested. A TikTok clip recorded from the neighborhood has also been posted by none other than Michelle.
That's only a face that your husband could love. Anyway, so she has been arrested for disorderly conduct and obstructing governmental operations. And apparently, Freaky Falen decided to pull up to Hunter's dad's house. Okay, because Stacy and Hunter's dad and stepmom had gotten into it earlier that day because apparently Hunter was supposed to go home with a family friend from baseball practice because the stepmom was working late, and Hunter's dad, he starts work at like 7. He works like a third shift, right? And he wasn't able to get him, so he was going to go home with a family friend. The stepmom was going to be there. Stacy said, no, we're not doing that, and refused to have him go with the family friend, tried to take him on their parenting time. They called the cops, right? Cops said, bring him. It is not your right to have him. She brings him, but brings an entourage. And it was Creepy Chris, Freaky Falen, Bella, and Wesley, and her husband Clay. So they brought all these people to the dad's house to basically start some shit with the stepmom because they knew that the dad, Casey, was at work. So they literally tried to bring all these people for one person who has children. And I have all the footage. I have all the footage. I'm going to be releasing footage all day tomorrow, but I'm going to leave you with Falen's arrest because that's the best part. She gets arrested. She's on the ground. And what's crazy is that she doesn't even acknowledge while she's getting arrested. She doesn't acknowledge Stacy. She doesn't acknowledge her husband. She doesn't acknowledge her daughter who's in the car with her grandson. The only person she acknowledges is Hunter, like the creepy ass, weird ass, obsessive ass, in love with his ass bitch that she is. It's insane. Let's roll the clip.
Should I cause a complaint because they're parked in front of my house?
Says things have clearly escalated to a breaking point, and honestly, it's been a deeply complicated and emotional situation to watch unfold, especially considering how young everyone involved is. At the center of it all is this very young child, only around 1 to 2 years old, who's growing up in the middle of constant conflict between two families and ongoing legal tension. How did things get to a point where so many adults, so many systems, and so many decisions ended up colliding around children who were never really in a position to understand the consequences in the first place? And most importantly, does TLC as a channel need to make better creative decisions?